Hey everybody, welcome back to BigRedEDC. Checking out a Sencut today. This is the Sencut Pulsewave. I'm going to talk about those names here in just a little bit. But as you can see here, we have the green micarta and black coated blade version. Now there are a couple of G10 versions as well, black and gray, both with satin blades. But we're talking micarta here. Black liners, deep carry clip, reversible clip. Yes, thank you very much. Lanyard hole, making everybody happy on this one, I sure hope. But the micarta, this is canvas micarta. Now this micarta is a little slick. I've used it a decent amount, and I haven't had it. You can see there, my thumb is kind of skipping along. I'd like to see it just a little bit more grippy. Now, you know, a lot of micarta, when it gets it gets tacky if it's wet. Excuse me, I'm sorry. But this one's it's a little, you know, it's not slick. You can see my thumb isn't just sliding off, but it's, you know, it's canvas. It's canvas micarta, flat scales. Not much contour going on, but yeah, doggone. I was hoping it would be a little bit more grippy, but it's not. So we will deal with what it is. Button lock. There you go, man. Button locks are getting, I don't want to say hate, but kind of lately. Don't know why. Anything that keeps my finger out of the cutting path is pretty good with me. But overall, we're talking fit and finish. Well, we're talking Civivi, Sencut. Fit and finish is going to be there. It just is, in my opinion. Centering, yeah, it's centered. I'm not too worried about it. Now, you've got a couple of different deployment methods, of course. You do have the dual thumb studs. You got the button, if you want to do it that way, which I never, ever do. But it is an option. And then, of course, you've got the flipper tab. The button's got a little bit of stick to it. You know, honestly, at this point, I just call it normal. I call it a normal button, really, because most of the button locks I've had out there have had just a tiny bit of button lock. If you get one that doesn't, you're way above board. And then, of course, we've seen some that have just been monstrous, you know, snap when you push that button. So I call it normal. I'm not too mad about it, but definitely a decent action on it. Comes closed. Bang. I like it. If I can get that darn finger out of the way. There we go. Middle finger flick. Yay. I did it. What do you know? And I actually did it on camera. That's the big thing. But there you go. Sencut 9CR18MOV alphabet number soup. As far as the steel goes, not too bad. You know, that's what Civivi started out as. So there we go. Got a nice little thumb ramp with some jimping going on. Catches the thumb pretty well. Do have what I would consider a forward finger choil, so you can choke up. Got to be careful. Do have to stay back on that flipper a little bit. But I can definitely choke up on it. If you have larger fingers, it might not be as easy. But stay back on that flipper tab, and you can definitely choke up on it. So, decent size knife. I'm getting just shy of 8 inches. You know, you're looking at like 7.85 maybe. You know, I'm just throwing numbers out, but it's just shy of 8 inches. Your handle length, you're looking at about 4 3/8, which should give you about a 3.5 inch handle, which it does. Now, your cutting edge is going to be just over about 3 1/8 on the cutting edge, and your grip length, you're looking at about 3 3/4 point to point. So right in there, I do have a little bit extra room left over. As you can see there, the 3.5 usually hooks that pinky finger, but 3 3/4, little extra room for the slightly larger hand than mine. Size comparisons, as always, PM2. Not a bad comparison. Pretty darn close. Looks like the PM2 has got it on the handle by, maybe about 1/4 of an inch. And of course, the bug out. It's going to be bigger than the bug out, as quite a few knives are. Drop that, get a weight on it. Pretty decent size knife overall. 3.5, not bad. That would also equate to 98 grams for our friends across the pond. In and out of pocket is pretty good. Disappears in that pocket. It is at an angle a little bit there. Straight up and down. And peekaboo, just a little bit. You can see it there with that green kind of pretty much meets into the pocket. Nice snap over the seam of the pocket coming out. So before I do my overall, I said I was going to talk about the name. And I've got a title for this one. But this is the Pulsewave, right? And I just recently did the video of the Stevie Storm Howl. And after reading some comments on the Storm Howl video, I went, wow, these really remind me of G.I. Joes. G.I. Joe names. You know, Snake Eyes. You know, Snake Eyes was my favorite, by the way. You know, those of you that remember G.I. Joe, I know some of the younger crowd might not, but most of you are pretty much right around my crew. My analytics say so. So, G.I. Joe, man. Now, I talked about this on the midweek mayhem, and somebody did say Transformers. Now, Storm Howl, I can see Transformers, absolutely. Pulsewave, I guess I can too. But I immediately went to G.I. Joe. I just immediately did. I was like, wow, these sound like G.I. Joe names. So, kind of cool. Brings back some memories from my childhood. But back to this. Overall, it feels really good in hand. I can feel this portion of the clip a little bit, not too bad. Is the wire, and it's not the wire clip, excuse me, but it is a thin, and it does dive down pretty much right away. So, not too bad. Like I said, is it a hot spot? I don't know if I bear down on it. No, not really. I can just kind of feel it's there. Fit and finish, we already talked about it. Stevie is usually on top of things. I don't know if I've ever seen a case where they haven't been. Honestly, as far as fit and finish goes, opening options, that's a different story. But anyway, we have 3 on this one. Flipper tab, dual thumb studs. I can reverse flick it. I did it once. I'm not doing it again. Or the button, which I will never, ever do as far as an opening method, but definitely a closing method. And like I said, I've been hearing a lot of, we'll say grumbling. That's a good word. Grumbling about button locks. I'm not sure why, honestly. I mean, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. I get it. We all like something different. But anything that keeps my finger out of the cutting path, I'm on board with. Compression lock, axis lock, button lock. Yeah. The new super lock. Yeah. I'm down. Now, don't get me wrong. There's been a couple of button locks that I've been like, but that's, manufacturing and things got to get worked out. But yeah, normally, no issue. No issue with this one. Like I said, it has a little bit of button stick. I call that normal. Not everybody might, but I do. It's got a little bit. Nothing to get mad about. Overall, not a bad knife. These guys, you'll find them right around that $45 range. The G10 ones are a little lower than $45. This micarta one, a little bit more than $45. So we'll just say $45 between friends and call it good. But I'm not mad at it. I like it. It feels good. It's got a good feeling hand, choke up, normal grip, however you want to do it. Gas station grip. It's actually got a pretty good gas station grip, honestly. But I never hold my knives like that. But overall, not a bad knife. $45. I think you're getting a decent knife from Sencut. And that's pretty much been my experience for quite some time now. with Sencut knives. So we, Stevie, Sencut, they're doing good things. They've got a lot of good stuff coming out. And just to close this out, now you know, and knowing is half the battle when it comes to the Sencut Pulsewave. Appreciate it so much, guys. Thank you so much. As always, like, subscribe, leave me that comment. You know I love talking to you. And until next time, I will talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.